Dromoland Castle in Newmarket, County Clare is now a 5-star golf and country club. This castle, constructed of dark blue limestone, captures views of both the River Shannon and the River Fergus. As I embark on my heritage journey, I'll begin by exploring what makes this one of the most famous baronial castles in Ireland. This castle was the ancestral home of the O'Brien family, who are royal blood. They were direct descendants of the High King of Ireland, Brian Boru. The son of Brian Boru controlled Dromoland when it acted as a defensive stronghold. It was a tower house structure similar to that of Bunratty Castle. The O'Briens lived and ruled from Dromoland for the next 900 years. The castle was passed down through the O'Briens from generation to generation, often with much speculation involved. The castle was rebuilt over time with the addition of iconic features such as the gazebo. A new castle was built under the influence of the Queen Anne style by Sir Edward. A century later, another new castle was built under the influence of the Gothic style. Here you can see a section of the castle which was designed under the influence of the Gothic style. During the Revolution there was a major loss of income, and when Dromoland was of the residence of Sir Edward, he was so financially hard pressed he began to take tourists as paying guests. The castle was sold in 1962 and went under renovations to transfer home into a luxury hotel while also preserving its heritage. Dromoland adapted over time from being a residential and defensive stronghold to being a luxury residence to the O'Brien family to becoming a luxury hotel and country club. Is a particular part of the castle which may mirror the original tower house, the first building on the grounds of Dromoland. Constructed from limestone, access was gained through the solid wood door to the front. There are many common characteristics present which define a tower house, including the crenellation. The O'Briens may have hidden behind these in battle. There are also basic macerulation. These are chutes where the O'Briens would have been able to pour hot tar or any hot substances on the allies. The second castle was built at Dromoland under the influence of the design of the Queen Anne period. This castle contained a wing with the central enclosing courtyard. This castle is about 100 years older than the rest of the castle which still exists today. The Queen Anne court was a quadrilateral which contained 29 guest rooms. There are many characteristics which define the Queen Anne style. The first feature is that there are a suite of steps leading up to the stone carved door frame which can be seen today. There are also rows of painted sash windows which are also renowned. There is a donut-facing gable at the front of the house which contains a porch also prior to entering the main part of the castle. Another feature is that there is a round tower which rises from the ground which also adjoins to the front face of the building. Here we can see the adjoining round tower with the south steps and also rows of painted sash windows which this period is renowned for. And was heavily influenced by the Gothic style. This part of the castle was constructed from blue limestone at a great cost and was quarried from nearby. The castle contained many features of Gothic architecture which still exist today. We must take into consideration that for years previous to this, building skills were very limited. This resulted in the castles being rather damp, cold, and light was very limited. The Gothic style architecture allowed for these factors to be improved, changing the way castles were built. We see that the main castle sweeps upward with grand, high walls. The tall, grand designs were something which was key in Gothic architecture. Another feature is that it contains many pointed arches. These arches also reflect the vaulted ceilings inside the castle. These pointed arches were based on the principle of triangulation and were much stronger than other passageways. The vaulted ceiling also allowed for more weight to be distributed and also proved to be stronger. The final feature is that the use of windows for increased light into the interior spaces. Study of Dromoland Castle, I decided to focus on the conservation surrounding the window. The window in particular which I chose was a sliding sash window, and it was particularly common throughout the castle. There are many reasons for this. For example, they are low maintenance, had potential to contain large panes of glass which allowed for more indoor light. This is something which was recognised during the Gothic period. As the frames were made from red deal, the quality of the timber was questionable, as you don't know if it was treated or not, or was it going to suit the weather conditions, or was it going to be sealed properly. So for this reason, conservation work was carried out on the windows of Dromoland in recent years. A number of steps were taken into consideration when restoring the windows at Dromoland. The first was to check the decay of the frame was not just a lack of paint. You should sand the members and repaint them. If the timber is actually decayed, you should remove the decayed member and replace with original species and not PVC frames. Check for ripples in the paintwork or discoloration in the soft timber members. Infected wood should be cut out and carefully replaced. Ensure there is adequate ventilation system present in the windows. If not, steps should be taken in putting one in place. Thermal properties should be improved by ensuring there is adequate sealing around the windows to prevent drafts. Placing slips and sealants around the windows will bridge these gaps. All joints should be re-glued and also clamped correctly. Old putty around windows should be replaced and let dry correctly before painting. You can see in this window in particular these steps were taken. All members were sanded and repainted correctly. There is an adequate ventilation system in place in between the sliding members to ensure air circulation and to prevent condensation build-up. We can also see the windows are correctly sealed to prevent drafts and to improve the thermal properties of the window and the castle.